I've known Rick Santorum for about 16 years and saw him give a speech, and instantly I saw his authenticity. And soon became a huge fan because of his convictions that never waver, which frustrates me because I try to convince him to other positions and he won't listen to me. But he's been a champion for the pro-life movement for so long and encouraged me to get involved with making sure that all life is sacred. I remember a story he told me. It isn't about birth, but it's about an Alzheimer patient. They asked this fellow, why do you go see to your wife every day in the nursing home? She has no idea who you are. But he said, yes, but I know who she is. So I think the respect that Rick has for life at both ends of the spectrum is powerful and exciting, and I'm really delighted to call him my friend. As you know, he authored the Live Baby Protection Act, which when the baby comes out and he needs in no way do I want to get political here, but there is a person who was who voted against that. 100 senators voted for that, but there's one person who said that's not a good idea. We're not going to give that person any medical treatment. So that's why Rick Santorum is a champion of the courage that he has of standing up for not only the Live Baby Protection Act, but he authored the partial birth abortion ban. And not only that, but he was a champion of it and had the courage to take on Barbara Boxer and others. So I'm delighted to be able to introduce him to you and also to be so grateful for what each of you represent. You know, we all get so frustrated, we're so powerless, but then remember Rosa Parks, little, 130, 40-pound seamstress, says, I'm not going to the back of the bus anymore. You stand on her shoulders, and what she accomplished, you're going to accomplish for your generation. So I praise you, I affirm you, and I'm thrilled to see you, and I'm thrilled to let you see Rick Santorum.
So much. It is great being here with all these young folks who are standing up against the tide, standing up for the truth, standing up for the values and virtues that made our country the greatest country in the history of the world. I talk a lot about, as you know, in a campaign, you talk a lot about a lot of issues, but I'm one of the few that actually talks about the issue of life and the importance and the fact that our country is a country that is blessed by God. I get this question, do you really believe our country is blessed by God? I get that question from reporters, believe it or not. And the answer is, well, yes, of course I do. We sing, God bless America. We say, in God we trust. We ask for God's blessing all the times. Do we not mean it? And of course, well, maybe some people don't, but I think most Americans, when they ask for God's blessing, they actually do mean it, and they actually believe that God has, in fact, blessed this country. But God's not going to bless this country if we do whatever we want to do and don't observe His laws and don't stand up for the values that made this country such a blessed country. And of course, first and foremost among that is making sure that we stand up and fight for all human life. That God, in no way, in my opinion, can continue to bless a country that kills 1.2 million children every single year. And that there are a lot of very important issues in our country, but certainly that is one that is a stain and a scar that we have to continue to fight. Foster just mentioned Rosa Parks. And I'm sure many of you here, maybe not all of you, but many of you here, are motivated by faith to step forward and to fight this battle. And if you look at the civil rights movement in America, it was motivated and led by people of faith. People ask, and I'm sure they'll ask you, well, what's the role of faith in the public square? And for me, it's a motivation to me. It's a calling. It's a calling to go out and fight the battles. But you bring faith and it motivates you and it brings you to fight for the things you believe in. But we need to come forward not just with faith, but with reason. That our arguments need to be available, need to be made to all people of faith and no faith. And that's why I think it's important for those of us in the pro-life movement that we stand firm and we show our faith, we show our love, because that's what we're called to do by our faith. We're called to love all of God's children, and those who are born and unborn, those who are struggling with unwanted pregnancies. We're called to love them all and to embrace them all. And